Hello, Year 2 agents. Agent Yates here at HQ. Apologies for the slightly blurry screen. I think it's the lights here in the hall where I teach my pod at the moment. But I'm here today with a STEM challenge for you. I know that lots of you really enjoyed the zipline STEM challenge the other day, so I thought I'd do another one on a similar vein, things that I used to like creating when I was little. And today it is time for a catapult challenge, specifically a paper flinging catapult challenge. So I would like you to design something that can fling paper over a distance, and you might be able to test how far it flies using your new measuring skills. You might be able to think about whether you can get it to go high or low, how large your catapult has to be, those sorts of things. But I've got some ideas for you that I've found on the internet and a couple that I've built myself. So here's a really simple one. This is sort of a classic simple catapult. So here, all that is put in the middle is a round object. It's a toilet roll in this case. A ruler is popped on one side, and then when you bang on one side of the ruler, the other side, the object on the other side, flings up and through the air. That is a classic catapult, and there is nothing wrong with that. You might be able to find some sticks in your garden, some spare pieces of wood, that sort of thing, and try and recreate this sort of catapult and see how hard you hit it and how much further your piece of paper flies. But I think there is an even better way, and this is my favourite way of building catapults, and always has been, using an elastic band. Probably the most simple kind of way that you can fling paper is a bit like a slingshot. So pulling back your stretchy elastic, all of the energy waiting there in the elastic band is fired off. Oh gosh, fired off from there when you let go. That potential energy comes out and your paper flies across the room. And you can use elastic bands in your designs in a number of ways. So let me show you another example that I found online. Here is another, this is kitchen roll actually, but use of toilet rolls here, and a wooden spoon. The elastic bands here help so that when you pull back the wooden spoon, rather than having to hit the other side, actually the elastic bands pull that down and the wooden spoon fires your object through the air. Similarly, this is one, I like these are using just some old spoons and some lollipop sticks, which I think is quite clever. And again, you could use things like twigs and things that you find in your garden, or sets of construction blocks, that sort of thing, to try and build something similar. The same principle here, but this time you've got the elastic that stretches down at the very bottom where the lollipop sticks join as you pull back. And again, all of that energy inside those elastic bands fires your object forward with the elastic power. And look at this one for a really complex catapult system made of pencils. I'd be amazed if anybody has a go at this sort of thing. This is really tricky. But similarly here, if you pull back, so where those rubbers are at the very top, you pull those back, the elastic band stretches on the other side, and then it flings back and should fire a piece of paper quite a good distance. So I had a look at some of these ideas and I experimented myself. I thought about the principle of the pulling back, and then I tried to think about how I might be able to extend that. So the first creation I came up with, mine's all using Lego, and I'm actually surprised there wasn't as many Lego catapults online as I thought I'd find. So this one, really simple. I've just built two sort of columns here, and I've put my elastic band in between a couple of the blocks, and it's a bit like when I was using my fingers really. I can pull back like a slingshot and fire off my paper at distance. I've built it at an angle so that when I'm using it on the tabletop it should fly higher, but then I went a little bit more ambitious and I had a go creating one of these catapults. I actually looked online at some real catapults from medieval times, and I tried to replicate one. So my elastic band is down here at the bottom. As I pull back, my elastic band stretches up, and when I let go, my catapult fires. And when I load it with a little bit of paper, you can probably tell I spent too long enjoying this task. When I load it with a bit of paper and fire off, paper flies out. That one actually flew down by my feet, so not the most successful launch. See if you can be more successful than me with your designs today. You can use sticks, you can use recycling, you can use elastic bands, hair ties, hair bubbles, those sorts of things might be useful if you haven't got elastic bands at home. And if not, why not go with one of the classic catapults where you're just going to have it over a centre point and see when you push it one side how far you can fire your paper object. Let me know the distances you get, show me photos of your designs, I would love to see them. Over and out, agents.